Building a scalable trades business, the top 10 steps to transitioning to get off the tools. So in this course, I am going to give you the top 10 steps of how you can go from tradesman to businessman and get off the tools. We want to help you transition as a business owner. If you want to scale, if you want to grow, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to level up first and foremost. Your business is only going to go as far as you can take it. So you've got to grow personally and professionally. And then what we've got to do is assess your operating model. Is it designed to scale? Or is it small ticket, reactive, inconsistent jobs that are going to never give you a business model that's quantifiable, that's scalable, and that's forecastable? Over the next 30 minutes or so, I am going to help you get clarity on what it is that you need to do next and give you an action plan to be able to execute on your goals, dreams, and vision. So, step one, we need you to define your vision. I want you to get clarity on your long-term goals. You really have to have a vision for the business that you can see, that you're bought into, because when you have a vision, you can get other people bought into it too. So let's start today beginning with the end in mind. I want you to identify what success looks like for you. What does beyond the tools actually look like? Imagine what the lifestyle is, what the income is, what your day-to-day is, and imagine all of the jobs, tasks that you can complete when you're not doing the delivery. As an exercise, what I'd love you to do is write down delivery, and I'd like you to write down development. And then I want you to, as a percentage, show me how much time you're spending in your business doing delivery tasks, working in your business. And then I want you to write down as a percentage how much time you're spending on development, because you have to know where your time is being spent. And for many of you, it will be 90% delivery, 10% development. And the aim of the game as we transition off the tools is to move the needle in favor of development. You've got to start working on your business, not in your business, or you're going to wake up in 10 years doing the exact same thing. Okay, step number 2 is delegate and outsource. You've got to hire people. One-man band, small businesses, sole traders, you're trying to do all of the key tasks on your own. The marketing, the sales, the operations, the finance, the recruitment, the systems, the processes, the procedures, and the delivery. And if you're spending all of your time just on delivery, who's going to be doing everything else in your business that it's required to have to be able to scale and grow? So you've got to see tools as 5% of where your business's focus needs to be. And I want you to remember that the tools do not make you money. Okay, the sale is where the money is made. The tools are just delivery of the sale. They're a cost of sale. But for many tradespeople, it's so programmed into you that the transaction of where you get paid at the end of the job is where you make your money. That's just income for an engineer that's delivering the service for a business. But the day that you became a business owner was the day that you stopped getting paid to deliver the service on the tools, and you start getting paid to deliver the service as a business. And I want you to remember that your business needs to be able to make enough money to be able to pay the tools and the person doing the execution, plus make a profit to pay you as the owner. It should make a profit in its own right. You shouldn't just be taking a wage. So a great way to understand where your time's being spent is to assess your current tasks and responsibilities. And you've got to understand the value of the task in any business. Doing admin, doing bookkeeping, doing paperwork, doing bookings, doing ordering of materials is not a high income task. As the business owner, you're not saving your money, you're costing yourself money by doing those jobs. They are the cheapest jobs to pay for, and your Your job is to be at the front, at the helm of the organization, overseeing everything, not doing any one task in a business. My company has 50 people in and we do £1 million a month in sales. Imagine if I was upstairs in the finance department writing up the invoices or doing the bookkeeping. It would be crazy. It would be bad for business, it would be bad for my people, okay, and it would be bad for our customers, because my job centrally is to oversee this big business, and your job is to start thinking like a big business. So you've got to understand the level of tasks that you have, you've got to understand the value of those tasks, and you've got to start hiring people to delegate out those tasks too, so you can focus on higher income tasks. So just remember, you've got to hire people, you have to bring in top talent, you've got to delegate. You're not going to do this on your own. Don't be afraid to hire people. I've hired nearly 1,000 people in the last 10 years, okay, in all departments across the country, of all different ages and skill sets, and they are the best asset. Sometimes it's not easy, but that's what's going to grow and scale your business. Okay, so step number 3. We want to develop great systems and processes. I want you to start understanding the word SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. You've got to make sure in your business that every task, every job, every department has an SOP to underpin what actually goes down. If not, just delivering tasks or instructions verbally usually creates confusion across the company. People forget, they don't do it as you expected them to do it. So you want to get locked in on the standard operating procedures. You've got to back everything up with an operating manual departmentally and company-wide. Just simple basics that many businesses don't have. I want you to lock in on making sure everybody's got a clear job title, making sure everybody's clear on their roles and responsibilities, making sure everybody understands what's expected of them, what are their KPIs, making sure everybody can report back to you on those KPIs so you are able to assess that they are doing the job and delivering on what the company expectations are. You need to have an org chart that outlines who's doing what department, overseeing what role. You need to have an accountability chart to be able to outline all of these tasks, and you need to get your company structure on lock. You don't want to be running a business as a sole trader. You want to be running a limited company, a separate legal entity that you can trade in, okay, and it has many benefits of risk and tax, can issue shares, and you can sell shares and so on and so forth. And you need to build credit in this limited liability company, this legal entity, as you continue to trade and scale. So the sooner that you do it, the better it's going to be for you, and it offers you ultimate protection. And then finally, you want to make sure you've got a great CRM system that is going to allow you to track, manage, organize your data and all of your jobs. We have a CRM system that you can invest in called Trade Portal. If you would like to find out more, please speak to your dedicated customer account manager. Step number 4, you need to implement scalable sales systems and marketing strategies to suit. Without sales and marketing, your business is never going to grow. And regardless of what trade, product, industry that you sell, okay, you are all in the sales and marketing business. Everyone in business is in the sales and marketing business, and you've got to have a scalable, reliable, perfect, repeatable strategy that's going to allow you to quantify the input to be able to measure the output. I like to measure business in 2 very simple ways. Number 1 is input, how many sales have we got coming in? Number 2 is output, how much profit did we make? So you've got to build a marketing plan. You've got to have leads that are specific for the product and service that you want to sell. You just don't want to wait for the phone to ring reactively, hoping that whoever calls you next wants the service that you sell. And I want you to remember, just because you sell it as a service, it doesn't mean that you can build a business out of it. Some of these small ticket requirements, yes, people need help with them, but you can't build scalable companies out of them. And you've got to look for high ticket, high margin products and services that have enough cash flow and margin attached to them to give you more scalability. The bigger the ticket, the better the margin, the easier your business will be to run, because it creates a positive cash flow environment. And if you're working B2C, remember that you get paid a lot faster. If you're working B2B, you're usually paying out and waiting to be paid. So you're literally creating a cash negative scenario that you can't outrun. So jumping back to marketing, we need high converting leads that are quantifiable and land in the business consistently. You've got to track your daily traffic and your lead conversion so you understand what's working and what isn't working. And if you want to scale and grow your business, you've got to get used to spending money on marketing. Usually about 10% of turnover will give you a 90% return. So whatever you put in at 10%, with the right strategy and sales process, you'll get 90% out. Businesses that want to scale up must have a sales strategy, a sales process. Because how many times do you hear a business say that they used a marketing agency or they bought some leads and they were no good? But in actual fact, you say to them, okay, cool. Well, how quickly did you call the lead? What did you say? What was your nurture sequence? Did you have a pitch? How did you try and close the deal? Have you ever had sales training? Do you know how many business owners and companies don't know anything about sales and have never invested in sales training or understanding sales process? Yet they expect to be able to just get leads from an agency and all of a sudden convert these leads into sales. Sales is a skill set, a profession, an art form that needs to be culture that you create in your environment where everybody comes in excited, okay, to sell products and services that your customers can buy into and that help your customers and change their customers' lives. So you've got to build a great sales strategy. You've got to get sales trained. Step number 5, you've got to build a strong company culture. Your business has to have a unique identity, and that's usually driven through the organization by the CEO. You've got to set up the company in a way that matches the drive, the energy, the environment, okay, that the CEO brings to the table. And then when you master that, you're going to attract great people that are on the same wavelength, want to go to the same destination, have big audacious goals, that want to grow, and they want to support you to win. You can't be a business that's entrepreneurial, that has big ambition, that, you know, has a lot of change as it scales, and go and attract people that don't want to work in a business that is changing all the time because they like systems, processes, procedures. And that's the ultimate goal. But, you know, there are some people that hate change. I say to everybody that joins our organization at a junior or a senior level, if you don't like change, if you can't keep up with a fast-paced environment, if entrepreneurial growth turns you off, then even if you're qualified for this job, don't even carry on the interview process because you're going to hate it. And vice versa. If I was a boring, corporate business that had been established for 100 years and I had some high energy, unconventional, entrepreneurial individuals that don't fit that environment, I'd be saying, you're not going to be right here. It's too boring for you. So you've got to make a culture that fits with how you want your business to be. I decide my culture, you've got to decide your culture. And when you lock in on it, you can attract great people, yeah? But you've got to get people on your wavelength. And that means by spending time with your people, getting them to see how you think. Invest in those guys to get the training so they can have the skills necessary to think big. Because thinking big is one thing. Having the skills to execute on big goals is another. We can all have big dreams. But if we can't take the right actions and have got the right skill set to execute on the actions, those dreams will always be dreams. They will never become a reality. So you've got to invest in your people. You've got to get them same wavelength as the organization. And those that start moving forward, you understand your vision, you understand your mission, you know where you've got to get to, so don't give up. Step number 6, focusing on customer satisfaction. Acquiring a customer takes money, time, and effort. Remember, the hardest sale to make in business is the first one, the easiest sale to make in business is the second one. Once you've got a customer, look after them, okay? Add value to them, take care of them, make sure they're getting what you sold them, make sure they're getting results, they're having a great experience, they're enjoying the process, they love the product, they understand the product, and work with them. Go above and beyond to support your customers. It's just definitely not about getting the first transaction. The sale is a win for both of you, but you've got to deliver on the promise to your customer, and you've got to make sure that they are taken care of. Your customers will become your best friends. They will be your business's biggest asset. And remember, when you build a great business, your database will pay you forever. Your existing customers will continue to buy as long as your brand and your initial sale delivered on what you said it was going to be. We do, I don't know, right now we're doing about 12 to 15 million a year, trajectories to 20 million a year, but a good 30% of our revenue comes from existing customers. Why are they buying? Why are we doing millions of pounds of additional revenue every year from our existing customers? Well, it's because, number one, we delivered on our training program at the front end. On average, businesses see growth of 300% after joining one of our 12-month business academies. And when they get growth, they need more support. They need a CRM. They need a digital marketing agency. They need design services. They might want to launch their podcast because we have a podcast business too. They need recruitment and so much more. And our job as a business is to create all of the additional products and services that we believe will help our customers further, but also as a business thinking strategically, this allows us to increase the lifetime value of our customer significantly, meaning that we can invest more money on the front end in marketing to be able to acquire the customer. Because in simple terms, the person who can spend, or the business that can spend the most on marketing wins always. So take care of your customers. Measure things like customer retention rates, customer satisfaction scores, have regular check-ins, make sure they're getting the results. And this applies to any business in any way, shape or form. Our customers have regular check-ins with their customer account manager. They have multiple touch points, more than enough resources to be able to succeed. And we really invest heavily in ensuring the success of our clientele. So, step number 7 is make sure you monitor your key performance indicators. You've got to identify and track the metrics for your business's performance. I want you to understand what's going on. And the way that you do that is by having these KPIs. They should be front and center of what you look at every day. You've got to be informed as the owner, as the MD, as the CEO. And we want you to analyze things like your financials, okay, your operations, and your marketing data. Now, there are simple KPIs and there are more advanced KPIs, and as the business grows, you're gonna need to level these up. But for many of you, we wanna just introduce some basic ones like leads in, leads conversion to appointments, sales, cash in bank, sales targets, debtors, legals, customer review score. So these are real simple ones that you can get on top of if you're a very, very small business. And we want you to get data-driven decisions, yeah? The numbers don't lie. In business, most people, they see their accountant once a year. What good is that to you? Why do we only see our accountant once a year? And all our accountant tells us is what happened in the previous 12 months. The windscreen in a car is this big and the rear view mirror is this big because you don't spend too long looking in the back. And in business, you don't spend too long looking about what happened because you're about to make sure that whatever went wrong isn't going to happen again. And the only way you do that is having up-to-date financial information that you can access regularly. The step up from accounting once a year is to move to monthly management accounts. And a business that's doing over 250 a year really wants to get on top of their KPIs and spend the money on the management accounts. Yes, it's money, but you're investing to know that there's nothing that's going to go wrong. And that's really, really important. The big mistakes I've made in business is usually when I haven't had the information and I've made the decision anyway. And an expanding business needs to know exactly what's going on, or you're only as good as the information that you get provided, because you're making decisions off the back of the information. So we've got to get data-driven decisions. We've got to set out a scorecard and KPI dashboard company-wide, then departmentally, then individually underneath each one of those departments. So your company is driven on performance. Okay, number 8 is you must invest in training. I spend £250,000 a year on my personal development. I am invested in me first and foremost. If Joseph wants to get to 9 figures, if Joseph wants to get to 10 figures, Joseph's got to learn what it takes to run a business at 9 figures and 10 figures. Right now, I'm an 8-figure entrepreneur. I've built multi-8-figure businesses by the age of 34 years of age, but I don't have billion-dollar skills yet. Well, how do I get them? I've got to go and learn from billionaires. I've got to spend time around billionaires. I've got to pay for mentoring. I've got to pay for access. I've got to pay for training. And you're no different. If you don't train, you're not going to grow. And I say to every trades business owner that I meet, when was the last time that you did a business course? And 99% of people say never. And I say to them, well, when was the last time you did a trade course? Oh yeah, I went on the latest technology course about a month ago. So you're telling me that as the business owner, you're going to go and learn the next technology, but you've never learned about sales, you've never learned about marketing, you've never learned about finance, and you've never learned about operation. But you think that going on the next course to learn about a product is going to help you with sales, marketing, ops, and finance. And that's where so many business owners are mistaken. And it's just because there is no awareness out there that you can't grow a business with the skills that you had when you started. A plumber starts a plumbing business, an electrician starts an electrical business, and a builder builds houses. And then they go and start companies, but they don't learn about business. Now, you guys are all great tradespeople. I don't need to teach you how to do that. But what I will say to you is, you love training because you went and became an apprentice, and you also would have gone, like me, I'm a qualified plumber and a qualified gas engineer. I could go be a gas engineer tomorrow and make 50 grand a year. But I wouldn't do that because my skills now make me millions of pounds a year. And then there's sales and marketing skills. So you've got to understand the difference between the two. And if you did the training to become a great tradesperson, but you haven't done any training to become a great business person, then this is why your business isn't where you want it to be. So you need to dedicate, money and time to your personal and professional growth. Then you need to dedicate money and time to training your people and your organization to be able to level up. But if you don't invest in you, your business is going nowhere fast. Step number 9, plan for expansion and diversification. You've got to keep it simple. Remember, the riches are in the niches. Don't offer loads of different services as a small business. The biggest mistake all tradespeople make is they set up a company and they say domestic, commercial, industrial, service, breakdown, repair, new build, installation. You can't possibly do all of these things. You are a small business. You can't diversify that much. But the only reason businesses diversify like that is because they don't have a quantifiable, forecastable, measurable, proven marketing method that guarantees them sales. So they have to diversify their offering because they believe that that is what's going to get them more opportunities. And it will. But it will spread you way too thin. So you need to build a strategy that's going to get you to $500,000 on one product and service. Then once you've got to $500,000, we will introduce product number 2. Then once we've got to $1 million, we'll introduce product number 3. And that gives you a rough guide of when you should be bringing out your next product. Coca-Cola didn't launch Diet Coke for 45 years after starting. They had such a job on their hands to get people bought into just Coca-Cola, you wouldn't believe it now, that they didn't diversify their message for 45 years. So how are you starting up and diversifying your message across 12 sectors with 12 different services from day one? You're causing yourself the distress and you're spreading yourself way too thin. So I don't want you to grow horizontally, I want you to grow vertically. And then when you've got to a big number, then we can expand out the products and services. I've got 12 to 15 streams of income. So I advocate for multiple streams of income, but what I don't advocate for is multiple streams of income into your business from day one. And then finally, number 10, seek mentorship and support. Now, if you're watching this, you've already engaged with the Trade Mastermind, so you know you need help. You've hit your ceiling and you can't get any further on your own, and you won't go any further on your own. Me and my team are here to help you every step of the way. We know the ins and outs and all of the intricacies of running a trade business, scaling a trade business across all sectors in all trades out there in the market. We know the margins, the cash flows, the marketing, the people, the strategies, the systems, and so much more. So you've got to come to the Trade Mastermind. You've got to join the Trade Mastermind. You've got to join one of our academies if you want to scale up and grow. It's the only way for you to get to the next level. You won't do it on your own, and I am a product of the product. I only tell you to do what I have done, and I'm investing at a huge scale to get to the next level. So I'm not asking you to do something that Joseph wouldn't do. The only reason Joseph has been able to achieve this great success is because of the personal investment in me and the growth of my business and my operating model. So to recap, we want you to transition to getting off the tools. It's the only way to build a scalable business. You need to get your marketing right, your sales right, your systems right, your numbers right. You've got to get around great people, get a great mentor, get training, invest in yourself, and most importantly, take action. If you're watching this video and you think that everything I've said has resonated with you and you're like, Joseph is absolutely bang on. The ones that get success do something right now. The ones that don't, just go back to doing what they're always doing. So if you've got that itch, that dream, that desire for growth, that's God's way of telling you that it's possible. But you are the one that's got to do the work. Even if you join our training programs, we aren't going to do the work for you, but we will give you a step-by-step blueprint and guide with all the support that you could possibly use, with a proven system, process, and strategy that's guaranteed to get you results, get you off the tools, and build you the life that you want, need, and deserve. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to pull the trigger, make a move. You're one decision away from a completely different life.